If a need is the distance between what is and what ought to be, a goal is the means by which we travel that distance. For example, my what is may be, I don't know how to set up a preschool Sunday school room. What ought to be, I ought to know how to set up a preschool Sunday school room. The need, therefore, is I need to learn how to set up a preschool Sunday school room. That's a need that I have identified. Now, moving from there to a goal is a relatively simple matter. You just tell how you are going to meet that need for learning. For example, my goal for that particular need might be, I will read How to Guide Preschoolers compiled by Janelle Strickland and take notes on how to set up a preschool room. Thus, I would have a goal that is geared toward a cognitive need. If I'm looking for a skills-based need, my goal might be, I will map out a preschool Sunday school room and set one up to be used in my church's ministry. That tells me what I'm going to do to help meet that need. Now, a good goal, a well-written goal for a ministry practicum has a number of advantages and characteristics to it. First of all, well-written goals are directly related to accurately identified needs. If you accurately identify real needs, then those goals become relevant. Oftentimes, I'm sure you have taken courses where goals were stated for the course and they had nothing to do with your life, and they were irrelevant, and usually you probably forgot that goal being met before too long. However, you have a prime opportunity here to set goals that really make a difference both in your life and in the life of the organization that you are serving as a minister during this practicum. So identify those needs, and the goal should be directly related to that identified need. Well-written goals also put you and your supervisor in charge of what you are going to learn to make you a better minister, what you are going to do to make your organization a better organization and accomplishing its mission. Well-written goals also formalize the content and the process of your practicum. Now, any curriculum should be based around a need that it is trying to meet, and those goals should be related to those needs. But the advantage or the really nice thing about a practicum is that it is once again centered around things that are relevant for you, and this formalizes the content and process of the practicum. Oftentimes, you may be in a practicum if you do not have well-defined goals and you are wondering what it is you're supposed to be doing or what is it that the supervisor expects of you. And if you have clearly stated goals, those questions will be answered for you. Not only what it is you're learning, but also how you're going to accomplish that learning. Well-written goals also help the supervisor to support you. If you and your supervisor agree on just how you are going to help the program or the organization, the supervisor has a better idea of how to support you specifically in your ministry. I have had students complain sometimes that their supervisor did not offer them any support. Oftentimes it was because of poorly written goals, and the supervisor was not aware of exactly what it is the student was trying to do during his or her practicum. Well-written goals also contribute to a better grade in this course. I've been teaching this course now for over 5 years, and The students who make the best grades are those who put some time in at the front end and really know what it is they want to learn and want to do. And they have supervisor support because those goals are well written. Please put some time into this. You've identified some needs. We're going to turn some of those into goals. Steps for writing goals. I think we've already gone over step 1, and that is simply naming your needs. Now, in order to move it from a need to a goal, one needs to clarify the end result of meeting those needs. Think about that need that you have identified, and think about it being completely met. What does it look like on the other end? What are you doing when that need is completely met? If you can picture that, then you can clarify that end result of meeting those needs. Now, this is a process. It doesn't just come all at once most of the time. Sometimes it will, but most of the time it's a process. And you'll need to think about, what does it look like when the need is met? And then after you look at that, how do you make it more specific and concrete? How do you tell me, how do you tell your supervisor exactly what it is you're going to do? And can you put it in concrete terms so that we can see it as well? And then how do you state the end result in terms that let me know what I'm going to do, or that you are going to do, and how you're going to do it? Let me take you through an illustration. Now, for some of you, the process will not be as long as this. For some of you, it may be longer. But this is one that I did. First of all, name your needs. In order for me to be more effective as the minister I feel God wants me to be, I need to know how to get parents involved in children's ministry. That's a need that many of our children's programs have. Okay, so I know that's a need that I need to meet. Now, the next thing I'll do is clarify what the end result looks like when the need is met. And continue to work on it until it is very specific and concrete. I start off with, I will develop in my ability to get parents involved in children's ministry. I will develop in my ability. What does that mean? If I looked at that as your goal, I would say, okay, what does it mean develop? Develop from where? And how will I know whether you have developed in your ability or not? What does it look like? So I'm going to make it more specific. Well, specifically, I will get parents to make decisions about children's ministry and volunteer to help in carrying out those decisions. Okay, that's a little bit more specific. I know what you're talking about. If you have that ability, you're going to be able to get parents involved. Okay, and here I get even more specific with, I will lead parents to form a children's ministry council. Okay, once more, a little bit more concrete, a little bit more specific, and then I make it even more concrete and specific. I will lead the Children's Council to plan a summer calendar that includes 4 activities other than VBS and other regular activities. Now I'm getting into very specific things that I am going to do. And then last, I will lead a Children's Council to recruit leadership from parents for each calendared events, at least for each calendared event, it should be, at least a month before summer begins. Now I know exactly what it is I'm going to do. I know the goal that I'm shooting for. The supervisor is going to be able to help me, and I'm going to know what I need to do to get there, because some of these earlier goals are actually some of the steps that I'm taking to get to that ultimate goal. And then you test the goal. Do the behaviors really indicate that the need is being met? Here, this is a behavior I'm performing. I will lead a children's council to recruit leadership from parents. Okay, if I lead the council to get parents involved in the summer program, the need for parent participation will have been met. Parents will be, this need up here will be met. I'll know how to do it, and I've proven that I know how to do it if I can do this. So I'm getting it more specific, more concrete as I go along. Now, goals should be SMART. Okay, this is a little acronym to help you as you check out your goal to see if it's written well. The S stands for specific. It should be a specific, observable behavior. For example, in the illustration I just gave you, I will lead a children's council to recruit leadership from parents. That's a specific, observable behavior. It's measurable. Okay, it tells me how many, how long. It's in the goal that I gave you. It said that I will get them to recruit leadership from parents for each event at least a month before summer begins. And so I can measure those things. It is attainable. It's something for which you have the resources, including time. I had a student once who wanted to help a church raise $10,000 in a couple of months' time, and it was just not doable at that church. It was out of reason. Here is where a supervisor should be able to help you. If you're trying to bite off more than you could possibly chew, he or she should be able to help you tone that down some and work in smaller bite-sized steps. Remember, you're only going to be working here for 12 weeks. You'll have to have something that is attainable within that 12-week period. The R stands for relevant. Once again, if you associate it with real needs, then your goals are relevant. The T stands for trackable. As you're going through the semester, can you tell whether or not you are on your way to accomplishing it? Will you be able to look at it and say, okay, I'm part of the way there, or I've got it on my calendar and I'm going to start it here and I'm going to finish it here? The more trackable a goal is, the better the goal is, because you can keep up with where you are in that process. Your goals should be SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, trackable. Let me give you some examples of some SMART goals, and I have some other examples for you in the next assignment that you're going to be doing. But just for example, a personal goal that I think would be SMART. By the end of March, trackable, I will share plans with my supervisor, an observable behavior, specific observable behavior, for an end-of-the-school youth retreat. An end-of-school youth retreat. The plans will include objectives, budget, program, schedule, and plans for recruiting and training adults. So by the end of March, I'm going to be sharing a set of plans with my supervisor. Another one might be before the end of the semester. That makes it trackable. I will establish a regular discipline of prayer for which I will make myself accountable to my supervisor. Okay, observable behavior, I will establish a regular discipline of prayer. However, you're making yourself accountable, which gives you a way to evaluate how you are doing. Another example. During the month of February, I will learn to use children's Sunday school materials effectively, and will demonstrate that ability by teaching at least 2 sessions. Observable behavior, I'm going to teach 2 sessions using this literature effectively. You could build something else into that goal under the supervision of my supervisor or a children's minister or whatever, and that might make it an even more solid goal. Some examples of some SMART ministry goals. Before the end of the semester, parents of 90% of our youth will offer feedback for our youth ministry by participating in a meeting for that purpose or talking with me one-on-one. In other words, by the end of the semester, at least 90% of the parents of our youth will be giving feedback for our youth ministry to grow on. Now, notice that the subject of the personal goals is the student, him or herself. The subject of ministry goals tends to be those what your organization or what a group within your organization is going to do as a result of your ministry. An important distinction there. Many students will hand me in, I will, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it tells me what they're going to do, but it doesn't tell me what goal it is going to accomplish for the organization. So therefore, the goals for ministry, those organizational goals, tend to have a different subject other than I. Another example. In the first 2 months of my practicum, our church will publish, under my direction, a picture directory for our children, of our children for use by teachers and parents. Okay, this is a product that you are going to produce, that you are going to direct, and then you will know whether you have that goal accomplished or not, because you either have a picture directory of your children or you do not have a picture directory of your children. Very specific and concrete. Another one, by the end of the semester, 10 singles will participate in a spiritual formation retreat led by my supervisor and me. Okay, 10 singles will participate. You have a very concrete, specific behavior there that you can measure, and you know whether you have accomplished it or not at the end of that retreat. Now, if you will go to the class website and click on Assignments and click on Unit 1, Assignment 2, and follow the directions. You may want to print out some of these suggestions for goals. There is a under Unit 1, the Learning module, there is a these PowerPoint slides have been made available to you. Perhaps you have already found those, perhaps you have not, but you can take those and go to assignment number 2 and follow the directions there.